bring in House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan. You probably heard what David Spunt just said there. Your colleague over on the Oversight Committee doesn't want to say anything bad about James Biden. So let's give you an opportunity to tell us what you think about his involvement.
Well, I do think we'll get a chance to talk to him. Our lawyers and the oversight lawyers have been reaching out with the folks we want to talk to, their legal counsel. So we think we'll talk to Jim Biden in January. We think we'll talk to Rob Walker, Eric Schwerin, Tony Bobolinsky, Kevin Morris, the guy who paid Hunter Biden's taxes or a large portion of his tax bill. So we do think we're going to have those individuals in for a deposition at the start of the new year. What I do know is with AmeriCorps, Jim Biden gets paid $600,000, and that very same day he sends $200,000 to his brother. And it seems to me it was always about giving access to the brand, and the brand, as Devin Archer, one of Hunter Biden's business partners, told us under oath this summer, the brand was the Biden name. It was Joe Biden. So that was the operation they were running, and I think the facts point that out.
All right, so this is an impeachment inquiry, which means that the trail that you're looking for would lead to the president, potentially. Again, your colleague over in Oversight, James Comer, tweeted this: bank records, 150-plus suspicious activity reports, IRS whistleblowers, emails, texts, transcribed interviews. The evidence is overwhelming. Joe Biden benefited from his family business schemes. But what has not been uncovered yet, and we don't know if it exists even, and I think a lot of people want to know about this, is where is the evidence of wrongdoing on Joe Biden's part?
Well, I always go back to the involvement of the Biden family with this Ukrainian energy company, Burisma, and I always point out there are four fundamental facts, John. Hunter Biden gets put on the board, fact one. Fact two, he's not qualified to be on the board. He said so himself in an ABC interview. Fact three, the executives at Burisma who put him on the board asked him specifically, can you weigh in with D.C. to help us deal with the pressure we are under from the prosecutor? The very next thing that he does, this is again from the deposition, is we asked Devin Archer, what did Joe Biden, because he was there when this request was made, what did he do after he got the request? And Devin Archer says he got on the phone, Hunter Biden got on the phone and called his dad. And then the more important question is then what did his father do, then vice president, is he went to Ukraine and conditioned, and this is what's I think so interesting, conditioned the release of American tax dollars to Ukraine on the firing of the prosecutor who was applying the pressure to the company that his son sat on the board. That to me is pretty compelling stuff. And then maybe the most compelling is the fact that there was an attempt to sweep it all under the rug, which was the David Weiss investigation of Hunter Biden. They were particularly letting the statute of limitations lapse for the years when the bulk of the money came in from Burisma to the Biden family. When you do something that benefits your family financially and you're in a public official, that's not supposed to happen, but that's exactly what it looks like took place.
All right. Well, we expect this to all kick into high gear as the new year turns. Want to ask you about this Colorado Supreme Court decision on President Trump, kicking him off the primary ballot. It's clearly in limbo right now, depending on whether or not the Supreme Court takes it up. Do you believe the Supreme Court will take it up? And is it possible that this could all backfire on Democrats in Colorado by engendering more sympathy and support for President Trump?
Well, we'll see. To your first question, I do think the Supreme Court will take it up. I think they'll say this is ridiculous because it is ridiculous. Anyone with common sense can see. Even Jack Smith, who's been out to get the president, has not charged him with insurrection, which is what they cited as the reason for keeping him off the ballot. The 14th Amendment doesn't talk about the office of the president in that section of the 14th Amendment. So I think it's and frankly, the president was put on trial and found not guilty by the United States Senate when the Democrats did their second crazy impeachment of him before. But the scariest thing of all, in my judgment, John, is the escalation with what the left will do to try to keep Donald Trump out of the White House. I mean, first it was they spied on his campaign, then it was the Mueller investigation, then it was the impeachment, then it was raiding his home, then it was indicting him in 4 different locations, 2 Jack Smith at the federal level, 2 at the state level in Atlanta and Manhattan, and now they're trying to keep him off the ballot. This from the party who talks about we're protecting democracy. It's ridiculous what they're doing to President Trump, and I think the country sees through it. So to your last question, it may in fact help him in Colorado, but certainly I believe it's going to help him around the country, and is already doing so as evidenced by the poll numbers, which show him winning in every single poll.
All right. Well, we've got a lot to watch for in 2024. Jim Jordan joining us. Looks like you pretty much got the place to yourself today. I guess a lot of people have already gone home. All right. Thank you again.
Take care.
Appreciate it.
You bet.